He was once a barefooted apple seller in the streets of Limpopo, South Africa, and he now owns one of the biggest companies there with an estimated value of $500 million. This is the amazing story of Tim Tibela and how he became a billionaire. Tibela's parents were gone most of the time, working far away in Johannesburg, so the young boy had to survive by himself every 2 months. He struggled to get money to buy bread and even eat breakfast at school, and with the little money his parents gave him, he used to multiply it so that he wouldn't have to ask them for more. If he was given 10 rands, he would buy a box of apples and sell them for a profit. It was a hard life for him. Every day he walked barefoot through the mountains of Limpopo to school, 15 kilometers to and fro. He used to wake up at 4 a.m. and was still late every day, and he got lashes for that as well for 2 years. And to make a hard life even harder, he was drawn into politics at an early stage in his life, and he became a leader in the South African Youth Congress. And one of their goals was to unite and to bring about the release of the then incarcerated Nelson Mandela. However, when the authorities cracked down on their group, the mountains of Limpopo, once Tibela's obstacle on his way to school, became his friend, who would often stay in the mountains overnight to avoid arrest. And as years went on, he finished school and he became a teacher because it was seen as a respectable profession for aspiring black South Africans, as they were banned for many other jobs. Tibela, however, was still an activist, recruiting members of the banned organizations in the school. And this cost him his job because he was later fired. He was unemployed for 4 months and he was bankrupt. Fortunately for him, there was a shortage of teachers in a town called Kwandebele, but the job came with a very low salary. So Tibela started selling insurance on the side to his colleagues, and within a few months, he was earning 12 times the money he got from teaching. And he was fortunate enough to go for an interview with Sanlam, one of the giants of the South African insurance industry. And when his friend took him for the interview, the manager was shocked at the sight of Tibela and kept asking why he was there, to which Tibela responded he was there for the interview to become a full-time agent. The interviewer thought he was a joke because Tibela was dressed in traditional clothes from home, so he was rejected on the spot. However, his friend intervened and said, "Hey, look, this is it. If you don't hire the guy, I'm quitting as well because he's one of the best salesmen out there." So eventually the boss changed his mind and hired Tibela. In his first year at Sanlam, he won so many awards like Top Agent, Man of the Year, and took home many other awards. However, in 1995, Tibela opened his own brokerage, Morithi Insurance Brokers, with commission he had made from selling insurance. He had a laptop, a desk, and a small office, and the desire to sell insurance products and to be his own boss, like everyone else. But he found doing it alone very stressful, and the cash flow was a problem. Tibela refused to borrow money to keep his business afloat, and he soon went bankrupt. Once again, he suffered, starved, and managed to save some money and rescued the business. And as years went on, Tibela also ventured in a new business, taking advantage of the huge infrastructure gap the government faced. There were too many people with few houses, so Tibela launched a new company called Tepcon Developers, which soon became the largest black-owned construction company in Limpopo. However, it was his venture into the mining industry that gave him a bloody nose. He had a dream to own a mine from scratch without hostile takeovers, but to do this, he needed mining rights, and to his disappointment, he was turned down 10 times, you guys. And each time he would collapse on his office couch and fall asleep out of sheer frustration. I can imagine. In 2002, however, he used his last 100,000 rands to pay consultants in a pursuit of yet another mining right, which he unfortunately did not get, and he realized too late that the money was not refundable, so he lost both the rights and the cash. However, this did not kill his dreams, because Tibela put together another request to the government and he got his mining rights, and this laid the foundation for his company Sesoko Resources in 2004, which operates as a mining and energy company. And in that same year alone, he identified a coal mine that he felt could make him a fortune. The mine contained an estimated 200 million tons of coal and was spread across 11 farms covering 8,000 hectares of land. And on 19th April 2005, the government granted Tibela a license for the site, and he was ready to do business, or so he thought. The problem was, he did not have enough money left to dig out the coal, and the banks couldn't lend him any. He needed 1.5 million rands for the exploration, with no one to turn to except for the people in his village. Tibela gathered his courage and just trusted his humility and personality. He gathered hundreds of people in his village, and they were curious to hear what the once young apple seller in their village had to do with mining rights in return for their life savings. This sounds like a movie. He told them he needed money, lots of it, and he could make all of them rich. He had a lot to say to convince them that day. And when it was all said and done, he returned to his office, waited, and finally fell asleep. And the next day, a blind woman, accompanied by her daughter, offered Tibela 15,000 rands in cash for her life savings and said, "Do well with it, my son." Later, the chiefs of the village followed and other people. The feeling that the people in his village believed in him gave him an extra push not to give up. I can imagine. So he went to work. First, he paid a firm of geological consultants 600,000 rands. Second, he paid drillers 900,000 rands to explore the coal mine. Little did he know, though, the worst was yet to come. Tibela stopped hearing from the consultants and spent weeks trying to trace them down without any luck. When he decided to visit their offices, he was astonished to find the companies were dissolved and the consultants had fled to Australia with exploration reports of his coal mine. This was a huge blow for Tibela because so much was at stake and people had hopes in him. Talk about a true test of character. Lucky for him, though, he was hands-on throughout the entire project, and he remembered which laboratory the runaway consultants had used. He rushed to the lab and was able to salvage 2 pages of the exploration data. Unfortunately, they contained all the important drilling data for the coal mine. But the struggle was far from over. With 2 pages in hand, Tibela spent months trying to sell the idea of a coal mine to potential investors. And one day, while he was driving in his car, Tibela received a phone call from the Coal of Africa, a solid, established player in the South African mining industry. They offered to purchase 74% of the assets for 70 million rands. They also pledged to spend 100 million rands on the project for a bankable feasibility study, and the deal was sealed the next day. And 2 years later, they offered Tibela 20 million rands for the remaining 26%. Wow. With that money, he founded another company called Sekoko Waterberg Colliery, which mines up to 18 million tons of coal a year. And he also went on to establish many more other companies in South Africa. And the village people who invested in Tibela, without a shadow of a doubt, well, yeah, they got lucky big time, because they got their money back, and hear this, with a 300% profit. So the lesson we can learn from Team Tibela, guys, is that we need to persevere and stick to our dreams no matter what, because the road to success is indeed a very, very bumpy road. And also, most importantly, we need to be hands-on in our investment so that you can get to know what's happening. Just in case anything goes left, we have somewhere to start from. And I hope you guys have really enjoyed this video, and to help push more of this content to bigger audiences, please share this video and also hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get notified every time videos like this are uploaded onto this channel. And I'll see you next time. Bye.